everybody. My name is Alex, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my informative speech on a successful wartime operation in the middle of World War II. My audience is my sister Anna behind the camera. I want to begin by quoting General Dwight D. Eisenhower, dated June 6, 1944, and he quotes, "Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle hardened. He will fight savagely." Such is one of the most famous quotes by five-star World War II General Eisenhower, also future 34th President of the United States. Today, I will tell you the backstory leading to the events, the details that enabled the German response, and the future implications that the successful operation enabled. The relevancy is that this operation directly led to the successful invasion of Sicily and helped lead to the downfall of Italian leader Benito Mussolini. And my credibility is that I have done an extensive amount of research on the subject, and my knowledge of intelligence operations in the Navy allow me to grasp the implications of such a successful covert operation. We begin with the Spanish finding a decomposing corpse of Major William Martin of Britain's Royal Marines. In this slide, we have some basic facts of World War II. One of the most prominent being the 40 to 50 million deaths, meaning this was the bloodiest conflict and largest war in history. This proves the emotional effectiveness of General Eisenhower's quote. So beginning in April 1943, a decomposing corpse was found off the coast of Huelva in southern Spain by sardine fishermen. Spain officially declared to be conflict neutral in World War II before the war. Nazi spy units, who were the main target of the deception, learned of the identity of the chained briefcase on his wrist, and they quickly reached out to the Spanish military to try and gain access to the case. By the name of Adolf Klaus, a German spy who was operating in Huelva at the time, they opened the briefcase and found multiple top-secret documents, but the most important being a letter from military authorities in London to another senior British officer detailing that Allied armies were preparing to cross the Mediterranean Sea from their positions in North Africa and attack German-held Greece and Sardinia. Personal documents also identified him as Major William Martin of Britain's Royal Marines, with identification documents and pictures of family and his girlfriend, furthering the Nazis' belief of his identity. Depicted in this slide is a detailed map of Spain following Axis-controlled allies and neutral countries in World War II. So you can see Spain and Portugal here as neutral. In this picture, we also see more of a detailed map of Spain. In case Spain declared official pro-Nazi, there were probable ways of British invasion, with also main cities depicted as the dots. With details of the changed plans, moves were made to dispatch the troops elsewhere. The intelligence coup for the Nazi spy network allowed Hitler to move his troops from France to Greece for what was meant to be a massive invasion. The main problem led to the biggest deception pulled off by British authorities of all time, and that was the hoax behind it all. The drowned man that was found was a Welsh man whose body was obtained in a London morgue by British intelligence officers Charles Cholmondeley and Ewan Montague, often considered the brains behind Operation Mincemeat. After creating the fake identity of William Martin, they got Charles Fraser Smith, who developed and supplied gadgets for Britain's intelligence organization, to develop a tin trunk for Martin to sit in, filled with dry ice that would preserve his body during his time in the water. Upon completion of the trunk, one of England's leading race car drivers drove the trunk to a British submarine, which dropped it off at the Spanish coast. Depicted in this photo is an official Royal Navy document stating William Martin of the Royal Marines was killed in action. In this picture, we see more information of Charles Fraser Smith with a naval identity card of William Martin, along with a picture of Martin's girlfriend, furthering the belief of the Nazis. Charles Fraser Smith was a part of the Britain's Royal Marines, who are the UK's commando force and the Royal Navy's own amphibious troop unit. They are an elite fighting force optimized for worldwide rapid response and can deal with a wide spectrum of threats and security challenges. Once the body got dropped off the coast of Spain, it immediately got the attention of the Spanish authorities, who were pro-German despite being conflict neutral. Once the Spanish recovered the body, British authorities began their frantic attempts and efforts to recover the case. They did this in the hopes that their efforts would convince the Nazis of the validity of the body and documents along with it. Because of the false intelligence, the Nazis were caught unaware when approximately 160,000 Allied troops moved to invade Sicily, cutting Italy off the map of war. And depicted in this photo is more of a detailed map of Italy, where the British armies moved through Husky and the southwestern part of Sicily, and were able to successfully move through the mainland of Italy. In conclusion, Operation Mincemeat was one of the most successful wartime deceptions ever to be pulled off in all of World War II. Without the successful operation, it could be argued that Italy, under the leadership of Mussolini, would have continued their onslaught against Europe with the aid of the Nazis. And because of this ultimately led to an Allied victory in Europe with the turn to tides of war. To leave you, I want to end with this quote by Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister, dated November 10th, 1942, quoting, "This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." Thank you.